Hello, Year Twos. Welcome back to Your Science with me, Mrs. Davis. Lovely to see you again today. I hope you are all well, and I would like us to have a little go at an activity to start off with, just to get our brains warmed up into our science thinking again. So let's start by having a look at this. So we've got, how do I survive? So plants and animals, like we learned about yesterday, live in different habitats that suit them. So they have special features that help them to survive in those habitats. This is why animals that live in cold places have thick fur, and why animals that live near the water are good swimmers, because it wouldn't be very good otherwise, would it? If you lived in the water and you couldn't swim. So I want you to have a look at these some pictures, and I've put an animal in a type of habitat, and I want you to tell me whether you think they would survive or not. And if you want to be really clever, you could tell me why. So we go. Would a polar bear survive in the rainforest? What do you reckon? Does he look comfortable in there? No, he wouldn't, would he? Why would he not survive in the rainforest? Can anyone have a think? Tell me why they don't think. What's the rainforest like weather-wise? Is it hot or cold? It's hot, isn't it? What's a polar bear covered in? Really thick fur, isn't he? Be very, very warm there, wouldn't he? I don't think a polar bear would survive very well in the rainforest. What about this next one? Would a shark survive in the desert? That just looks silly, doesn't it? Why would a shark not survive in the desert? Exactly, because a shark is a fish, isn't he? They're a fish, and they breathe through their gills, don't they? Because they live in the water. The desert doesn't have any water, or a very scarce amount of water, not a lot of water at all. So that one, definitely, I don't think he would survive well at all. Would a camel survive in the ocean? What do you reckon? Oh, he's balancing on water there. Would a camel survive in the ocean? What do you think? No, I agree with you. I don't even think camels can swim. They're definitely not designed to swim. Do you remember that fact about their feet? Their feet are nice and spread out, aren't they? So they can walk on the sand. They definitely wouldn't do very well in the ocean. Plus, they don't have any gills. They breathe like we do with lungs. Therefore, they would really struggle with being able to breathe, wouldn't they? Well done. And what about this one? Would a kangaroo survive in the Arctic? What do you reckon? Well, he has got fur. What do you think? He wouldn't do very well, I don't think. I agree with you in the Arctic. Kangaroos, again, they live in very warm climates. So climate and weather. They live in places that are very warm. Therefore, I don't think the Arctic would be very good for a kangaroo. Plus, I don't know whether all that jumping on the ice would be very helpful, would it? Or whether the ice would be strong enough, or whether he would slip, because kangaroos are not designed to be living in the Arctic, are they? Super job. Well done, guys. Right, now we've got our science brain switched on. I want us to, today we're going to, be exploring the basic needs of animals, okay? So I'm definitely reckoning you'll recognise some of these animals here. Oh, there's a bit of a chase going on up there. Can you see that one? Well done. Right, so for today's lesson, you will need a pen or pencil, paper, your exercise book. You also, at some point, will need some to do some research. So that might well be on the internet, which is absolutely fine, or you might have some books at home that you could use to do some research in, possibly, about this. That would be super. Right, our special vocabulary words today. Again, you might have heard of them, you might not. That's okay. We'll explain as we go through, but we're just going to check we can read them. So first of all, we've got shelter. Anyone know what shelter I reckon you might. And then over here, we've got carnivores. It's a funny word, isn't it? Carnivores. Can you say it? Brilliant. Well done. This next one, just say this next one, we've got omnivores. Omnivores. Brilliant. Well done. And then this last one, we've got herbivores. Herbivores. Can you say that as well? Brilliant job. Well done, guys. Okay, so I want you to sit back, imagine, putting on our imagination. Imagine that you are going on a mission into space. So you're going to be traveling alone for a month while you rocket towards the moon. So you're shooting up towards the moon. You're by yourself. What do you need to take with you to keep yourself happy and healthy? So I want you to think of 3 things that you would like to take with you. So pause the video and I want you to have a real good think, maybe jot them down, 3 things that you want to take with you on your mission into space. Pause the video now. Welcome back. Fantastic job, guys. Okay, have you got your 3 things? Oh, I'm trying to think, what would I take to space? I've had a good think. I just don't know if I could narrow it down to 3 things. What about you? What are you thinking? You've probably got some very, very clever ideas. I do love reading. I think I'd be lost without my books. I also really like chocolate. I think I might have to take some chocolate with me. It's probably not the healthiest thing to take. And I definitely think to keep me happy, I need to make sure I keep drinking water. So probably not the best ideas. I reckon you've got some good ones. Right, so what out of those things that you think would keep you, that you want to take, would you think would keep you alive? Well, my books definitely wouldn't keep me alive, would they? I don't know if I could live off chocolate. Could I? No, I don't think so. It's not good for you. Water, definitely need water. So that's probably one thing that I've got which would keep me alive. What about you? Anything on your list? So there are many things that humans like to have, but that make their lives more enjoyable, more comfortable. But there are only a few things that we really need. Do you know what they are? Well, I think I might have chosen one. I'm not sure. Oh, food, water, and air. Well done if you got any of those. Fantastic. So those are the things that we really do need. So all animals need to eat food to stay alive. Some animals eat only other animals, and these are, there's that word, carnivores, one of our specials. So that's where they only eat meat. They only eat other animals. Okay, here's some examples of some carnivores. Some animals eat only plants, and these animals are, do you remember how to say that word? Herbivores. Well done. Here's some examples of some herbivores. You might think of some others as well. And then some animals eat animals and plants, and these are omnivores. Oh, we're omnivores, humans are. And there's some other examples of some omnivores. So they eat animals and plants. Herbivores only eat plants, and carnivores only eat other animals' meat. Okay. Water. Creatures that live on the land get water by drinking and from their food that they eat. So these are land mammals, but animals that live in the water take in their water by drinking through their skin and from their food. Okay. And then we've got air. Mammals, reptiles, and birds breathe air through their nose or mouth and into their lungs. So let's have a go at that right now. So we can breathe through our noses. Big breath in through your nose, well done. Or through our mouth. And we're taking all of that air into our lungs. okay, which is just under our ribs, around here. And so mammals, reptiles and birds all breathe through their nose or their mouth into their lungs. But fish and other sea creatures, we know they breathe through a special organ called gills, don't they? Oh, sorry, I ran through there. There's a bit of a close-up picture of those gills there. Well done. Okay, so for humans and most animals, shelter is very important too. That's that word shelter. So it's a home, basically. This keeps us safe from predators. It gives us a place to rest and have young and protects us from getting wet or too hot or too cold. So the home that you have is shelter, isn't it? Okay. These are all different examples of different shelters. You can have a house, different homes, different shelters, different places that animals live. You've got, trees. We've got like a hutch, haven't we, for animals in home. You've got caves, possibly. Okay. So thinking about this, there's definitely some basic needs, isn't there? Do you remember those 3 basic needs that that we were saying that animals, including humans, need? We need food, water and air, don't we? And we need to think also about where we live, that shelter aspect. So I've chosen a giraffe and I've had a go at thinking about, what's the basic needs of a giraffe? So I first of all started with thinking about food, and I researched about a giraffe and I looked about giraffes are herbivores. So do you remember what a herbivore is? That means they don't eat any meat. Some of the things that giraffes eat include leaves, pods, and fruit off tall trees. They are able to reach food that other animals can't get to because of their very long necks. Okay, so they're herbivores. They don't eat any meat. Some of the things that they eat include leaves, pods, and fruits off very tall trees. And they do that because they're able to reach up high, and they are all right for food because other animals can't reach that food high up. So they're okay for food. Their long necks really helps them get that food. Right, should we see what else where does it live? Its habitat. Remember yesterday we were doing about habitats, weren't we? So giraffes live in an open grassland savanna of Africa. So they live, as you can see here, the picture, it's like a grassland. So there's lots of grass, okay? But it's in Africa, so it's very, very, very warm most of the time, very hot. It can be very hot there, but at other times it rains lots. And so these are known as dry and wet seasons. So it goes for a long time where it doesn't rain and it's very dry, but also it does rain lots, which is probably why we've got some of the grass there, and I can see some of the trees in the background. And then finally we've got water. So giraffes get the water they need mainly from their food and the morning dew on leaves, which they lick off. A giraffe can go a long time, up to 3 weeks, without drinking any water. Sorry, that should say any water. When they do drink, they can take on a lot of water. And this is good because of the dry seasons. There isn't a lot of water around. So it's good that a giraffe doesn't have to drink all the time. It can take a lot of water at once, and then it doesn't need to be able to have a drink. It can go for a drink. It can go without a drink for a little while, which is good because sometimes there won't be water around. Okay. So I want you guys now to have a go. It's your turn. I want you to choose an animal. It might be one you already know lots about. It could be a pet or one that you want to find more about. It might be something that you don't know a lot about in this animal and you want to find more about. But I'd like you to choose an animal. I'd like you to research. So find out, what does it eat? What type of animal is it? Is it a carnivore? Remember, that only eats other animals, only eats meat. Is it a herbivore? Ones that doesn't eat any meat, only eats plants, vegetables, fruits. Or is it an omnivore, which means it eats both meat and plants? Okay. I want you to think about, how does it drink? How does it get its water? Is it like a mammal or a reptile or a bird where it can take its water on land, or does it absorb its water through its skin? Because is it a sea creature? Okay, and how much does it need to drink? Does it need to drink lots? Could it go a long time without drinking, like a giraffe, like a camel? Or does it need to drink lots all the time? And also think about its habitat. Where does it live? And how is it suited to that? Does that help the giraffe? Does that help your animal? Like with a giraffe, it can, it's well adapted to those grasslands. It's got lots of trees that it can reach up high to get its food from. Okay, and you could present it however you like. You might want to present it a little bit like how I have, where you've put your animal in the middle. You might want to draw your animal. You might want to print a picture of it, and then you can put it around. You could write it separately. You could put facts all around it if you like. You present it however you like. Just remember, beautiful handwriting and presentation always. So I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at your research. And welcome back, guys. Hopefully you got all your research bits and you presented your all about your animal, and you've looked at what it needs to survive, those basic needs. I just wanted to end today's lesson with a little bit of a true or false round. So it's up to you, again, whether you want to write these questions down. You can if you like, and then have a go answering them. Or if you prefer, you can just have a go answering them along with me verbally, okay? If you did want to write them down, then you do need to pause the video now. Wonderful. Right, so the first one, creatures that live underwater don't need to breathe. It's interesting, isn't it? Do you think creatures underwater don't need to breathe? That's number one. Number two, water is the best drink for humans and other animals. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's false? Humans are herbivores. They eat only plants. Don't eat anything else, just plants. Number four, fish never drink. Is that true or false? And number five, some creatures that live in the sea breathe air. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's false? Okay, should we have a look at some of these answers? Let's have a look. So, creatures that live underwater don't need to breathe. Is that true or false? It is false. Well done if you got that correct. Yeah, fish and most other sea creatures breathe underwater through special organs called gills, don't they? We remember that. They don't breathe. They just breathe differently to us. Water is the best drink for humans and other animals. That is true. Humans have lots of drinks to choose from, but nothing is as good for our bodies or animals' bodies as fresh, clean water. Okay, this next one, is this true or false? Humans are herbivores. They eat only plants. It's false. Humans eat animals and plants. They are omnivores. Now, some humans choose not to eat meat. They're called vegetarians. Okay, but we aren't just herbivores as a species. Fish never drink. Is that true or false? It's false. Yes, well done. Some fish drink water. Some fish get water from their food, and some absorb through their skin. It's just dependent on the type of fish, but they all do drink. And finally, some creatures that live in the sea breathe air. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's false? It is true. Well done. So marine animals like dolphins and whales and marine reptiles like sea turtles need to come up to the surface of the water to breathe air like we do. So they pop up and down. So you might have seen, especially dolphins when they are moving through. Okay, but they come up, and whales, they come up to the surface to breathe. Right, fantastic job, guys, as always. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson and learned lots about the basic needs of animals, and making sure that we remember our 3 basic needs, which is water, food, and air. Okay, and the different ways, it's a plus if you can remember the different ways in which animals can take on water, or can take on the different types of food they eat, on the different way they breathe, and take on that air that they need. Thank you very much again for joining me today, and I really hope to see you tomorrow for our last lesson all about animals. Take care, see you later.